What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to talk about with you guys, this time actually revolving around the Portland Trailblazers and the Los Angeles Lakers, with it currently actually looking like the Portland Trailblazers have some interest in JaVale Mcgee and Dwight Howard, with it currently being reported that Hassan Whiteside is unlikely to return in a backup role behind Yusuf Nurkic. So the Blazers plan to pursue a Dwight Howard or JaVale Mcgee to make them their backup centers in free agency per Grant Hughes. Now, I think this is I don't really know how I like this idea at all, because yes, I don't think that Hassan Whiteside and Nurkic can work together, because obviously they're both going to be, they both want big minutes, and even though Nurkic is just coming back from injury, he is going to take some time to get into it, but by the time the season's ended, and if they've made playoffs, he'll probably be wanting to play about 30 minutes per game. I just don't know if you can necessarily play the two together as a power forward / center combination. But the thing is, what I think they should actually do is, maybe even look to sign Hassan Whiteside on a 2-year deal worth maybe, 15 million a season or whatever it may be. And then, continue to have Hassan Whiteside for the first half of the season while Nurkic, is getting back into it. He can play 20 minutes a night off the bench or whatever, and it can, gradually get bigger while he's recovering from his injury. And then Hassan Whiteside can make those, big minutes. And then once you think Nurkic is done and he's all good to go, then by the trade period, you can look to trade Nurkic to whatever team needs a new starting center or is in the market for a new starting center or something like that. That's just what I honestly think they should do, and I think that would be the best idea. But it looks like they are going in a different, sort of situation where Dwight Howard and JaVale Mcgee may be the ones where they actually look to potentially sign, which again, I'm not exactly too sure if they should do that. Not just that, I don't honestly know if JaVale Mcgee and Dwight Howard are going to leave the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers gave Dwight Howard a second chance when they didn't really have to, and he's been playing, somewhat pretty good for them this season. Not putting up the biggest numbers, but he's playing that really nice role alongside LeBron, and he is just, his defense has been pretty good throughout this season. I honestly believe that JaVale Mcgee is a pretty nice player to put alongside Anthony Davis. For example, Anthony Davis, I'd say, putting him alongside a center that is relatively slow and tall may not always work, but in JaVale Mcgee's case, it actually has relatively worked pretty well, and JaVale Mcgee's lankiness and all that type of stuff has actually come to be a pretty good fix with what they have partnered up with Anthony Davis and JaVale Mcgee. And I think that JaVale Mcgee, considering he's been playing pretty good, I honestly think he'll want to stay and sign like a 2-year deal worth maybe $3.5 to $4 million per season, while Dwight Howard might sign like a $4 million deal as well. So I think that may also be the interesting one. But what some people are actually saying as well is that what if they do a sign and trade? Like, what if the Blazers actually sign Hassan Whiteside and then actually trade him off to LA, and then LA can have, LA can actually have Hassan Whiteside now, and he can play those big minutes, and then now potentially the Portland Trailblazers can get their, player in JaVale Mcgee. Now, obviously, the trade doesn't stack up. You wouldn't do Hassan Whiteside for JaVale Mcgee. But because this is a sign and trade, I definitely think it could actually potentially happen. Look, sign and trades are completely different to normal trades. Yes, a JaVale Mcgee for Hassan Whiteside wouldn't work normally, but we obviously know that it's just kind of a way to do it, because, Lakers may not be able to sign Hassan Whiteside due to cap. Then they'd pretty much sign JaVale on the deal that he wants, and then, they'd trade him off to Portland for Hassan Whiteside. And I think that would be pretty interesting. Like, a similar case scenario is Jimmy Butler and Josh Richardson. Yes, Jimmy Butler's a lot better than Josh Richardson, but Jimmy Butler didn't want to stay at Philadelphia and wanted to go to Miami, so it's better off them, not getting nothing. So sign and trade values are definitely a lot different than what normal trade values are. So I could definitely see maybe something like that happening, but nowhere here does it say that the Lakers are interested in Hassan Whiteside. In fact, I don't necessarily know if they would really want a double duo of Hassan Whiteside and Anthony Davis. Of course, the defense would be pretty cool, but JaVale Mcgee, you'd probably have to say, is just, I feel like he's better at certain areas of defense that Anthony Davis lacks than what Hassan Whiteside would. I mean, Hassan Whiteside is a very good, shot blocking center, similar to what Anthony Davis is, and they're both pretty good at defending the inside paint, etc. Well, I feel like JaVale Mcgee may be a little bit better at, getting around the floor than what Hassan Whiteside maybe would. So again, I'm not exactly too sure, but I feel like what Anthony Davis lacks in, JaVale Mcgee kind of fills in. While I don't necessarily know if Hassan Whiteside will be able to fill in that void. And yeah, again, I'm not exactly too much of a fan of that whatsoever. And honestly, I don't think this is going to happen at all. I think Portland are going to be very interested in JaVale and Dwight. And I could definitely see maybe JaVale, he could potentially leave. But I couldn't see Dwight leaving, like, at all. I think Dwight wants to stay a Laker now, and I don't think he wants to leave them at all. And maybe, who knows, he has done pretty decent with starting with Anthony Davis. I just don't necessarily know if the Lakers would want to make him their starting center or not. And I guess that, we'll have to wait and see to potentially see what happens. But I do kind of like this move by the Portland Trail Blazers. I just honestly think it would be a better move to try and, maybe keep Hassan Whiteside for a little bit more. And then when the trade deadline does come around, then you decide to trade him. That's honestly what I would do, and what I think Portland should definitely do. And obviously they can get some value out of it, because they're probably not going to get anything for Hassan Whiteside. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be able to sign and trade him, only unless, a team really wanted him and then they didn't have enough cap for him, or something like that. Pretty similar to how Lakers scenario could go, but I don't know if the Lakers would be interested in him. And then, yeah, again, I just think it would be a nice move. And of course, the cap situations would be pretty tight, especially considering the Trailblazers may also look to maybe even trade for Kevin Love eventually as well. Then I definitely wouldn't think they would keep Hassan Whiteside if they were to trade for Kevin Love. But let's just say they didn't trade for K-Love, then I honestly believe Hassan Whiteside they should definitely keep until the trade deadline does come around. And then, yeah, when the trade deadline does come around, they can decide if Nurkic is going to be fit enough to play the rest of the season on starting minutes, and then maybe even the playoffs, or not, and they still need to keep Nurkic. Again, that's just what I definitely think the Portland Trailblazers should look to do. But anyway, to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA content and NBA news. Definitely don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think it'd be a good idea by the Portland Trailblazers to make it, maybe keep Hassan Whiteside, or should they go after Dwight Howard and potentially JaVale Mcgee? Should they even go after both? Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRL/vlog channel. Links for them will all be in the description down below. And definitely go check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. Links for that will also be in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.